Hello, welcome to Global Television, and of course we are transmitting live from Abuja, where you get to join us on more and more updates and conversations here from the Federal Capital Territory. My name is Edikan Michael, and of course I want to welcome you to the program Perspective. And today we'll be focusing on youth and engagement in the politics. And of course, I recall that a few months ago we were in the political terrain, the conduct of elections, and now that the elections are over, the aftermath, it seems the youths are not properly engaged, and this has always been the agitations of our stakeholders and many. Joining me today for this conversation is Blessing Ifemenam, who is the Action Aid Nigeria Youth Focal Person. You're very much welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Action Aid has been, of course, agitating for the rights of youth, the right of women, and all of that. How has the results been so far?
All right. Thank you. First, to say that Action Aid Nigeria is a non-governmental organization. We work in over 45 countries of the world.
45 countries?
Yeah, of the world. Then in Nigeria, we work in about 23 states. Our priority, just like you rightly mentioned, is we're focusing on women and girls, to ensure that their rights are upheld and their voices are heard as well. But then again, we are not leaving young people, because we always believe in leaving no one behind. So in our strategy, we also prioritize working with young people, because I mean, when you look at Nigeria, or bringing it home to Nigeria, the youth board in Nigeria, more than 50% of the population of Nigeria are young people. So I mean, when you have this big population and you keep saying that youths are the leaders of tomorrow and all of them, what about now? For me, I believe that youths are the leaders of now, because we can't keep talking about tomorrow when it seems as if the opportunities are not even there for them to get into that space. So back to what Action Aid is doing, we prioritize working with young people in our strategy. We engage them as leaders, thought leaders. We also build their capacity on different thematic areas: good governance, budget tracking, transparency and accountability, and all of this to ensure that they have the right knowledge and also the right skills to be able to engage and also go out there to demand accountability from government. So these are some of the things that we do with young people. It's not a one-off engagement. This is engagement that will keep going on, and we are seeing results from all of them.
All right. During the 2023 election, and it was never before, like this has never been, it was highly unprecedented. And of course, it seems the results, the Nigerian youth are not satisfied with the result, the outcome of the exercise. And this may have a negative effect of, in what can you say about this?
Well, like you rightly pointed out, Nigerian youth were very engaged in the 2023 election. I want to take our mind back to what has been happening over the years, but taking it to 2020, of course, everybody knew what happened in 2020, the popular EndSARS, where you see that young people were not happy. Initially started as a protest against police brutality. But then, along the line, we could also see that the protest was also about bad governance, about the issues that is not, that young people are not given the space.
And then,
so it was a whole lot of issues, and we're waiting for the right time, and 2023 was the right time. And towards that election, you could see that young people were mobilizing, some were going out of their way. They were going out of their way to mobilize people to register for their PVCs, permanent voters card, and also collecting them. And from the statistics we got from INEC, you could see that the highest registered voters,
76%.
Yes, 76% were young people. Because I mean, young people were tired of sitting at the fence, wanted to have that opportunity to not just serve as, in the past, young people are being seen as used as toggery, they serve as, but this time around, they want to act as the people that are able to vote, to be able to put the right people in the office. However, we can say that with the whole issue that happened on the election, we are not here to analyze the election, but then everybody that saw the election will see that, in my own opinion, the election was not, it was beyond average.
The expectations.
It was beyond the expectation of Nigerians. And again, Nigerian youth, their hopes were dashed. Because at the end of the day, there was a movement that they were looking up to see, okay, this is the kind of person that we want. We are tired of old people. Not really old people, but recycling the same people over and over again. By the end of the day, we could see what the results are. But we are still pushing to see what...
Away from participating in elections as voters, and of course, as you said, a lot of mobilization was for youth to go out and vote. And now let's come to look at, where youth really belong to all of this, because away from just participating in elections, we are just coming, as you said, that, we are the leaders of the now. What are those challenges that the youth are facing regarding, actively being involved? Because you understand that, the procedures in party, primaries, elections, and these are all the factors, that are in that. How can the youth surmount all of these?
Well, there are a lot of issues, honestly. If you want to be sincere, there are a lot of issues. And in Nigeria, it seems as if we take one step forward and we take more than 20 steps backwards when it comes to a lot of issues, especially young people. The whole issue, when we're all working towards pushing the not too young to run bill, everybody was happy, people putting resources, people putting strength and everything to ensure that these things come into reality. However, with the president signing it, now how are political parties even implementing some of these issues? We just saw what happened before the election at the primaries. A political party was selling nomination form for over 100 million. I mean, which Nigerian young person can afford that?
With the situation of the economy.
With the situation of the economy, except you want the person to steal. Even if you steal, how many banks are you going to steal from to be able to get some of these things? Now, that is also not, that is also one of the issues. Then talking about what young people can do, I know that young people in Nigeria have really proved themselves. If you look at some of them with the whole Japa syndrome, they go outside Nigeria and they do well. They are doing well. But then again, if you come back to Nigeria, you see that the opportunities are, most times they say the opportunities are there. But beyond the opportunities, what about enabling environment? Do you even provide the enabling environment for these young people to strive? Do you get my point? Yeah. Because if the environments are not enabled enough, you don't have a conducive environment, there is nothing that you can do to be able to thrive.